Hey YouTubers, it's Nick540 again, and this is a video talking about two things. One is I saw a video on some other channels about the core of their stack, or the base of their stack, and what that is. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. The other part is about not keeping any of this stuff that you see in front of you at home. Clearly I have a YouTube channel, so that would make me vulnerable to, you know, people. I mean, with this modern technology people have today, easy to find anyone with a YouTube channel. As secretive as you can be, it's always a way to track someone down. So I would say rule number one, even though what you see here is the core of my stack that I'm going to talk about, I'll never keep this stuff at home, including the cash. So getting into the main reason of this video. A lot of the core or base of someone's stack, as I've seen in the recent videos, I'm talking about silver. And if you see here, nothing you see here is silver. The core of my stack is gold and cash in a variety of denominations from 5s, 10s, 20s, 50s, and a few hundreds, not too many hundreds because they are harder. There's a lot more fakes with those. And I also like having a variety, as well as some US dollars in multiple denominations. There's some 5s and even a few 1s under there. Yeah, I think there's some 1s under here. Yeah, there's a bunch of 1s. Yeah, right there. So, and a 50, a few 20s, 10s. But because I'm Canadian, majority of the cash is Canadian. The reason I have some gold too is the core base of my stack is because it's easy to transport. If I was to take, I have, almost 700 ounces of silver. If I was to try to carry that, that's a lot of weight to carry. So I keep this as the core of my stack. And the reason I have cash here, which I know a lot of people in the community, you know, don't stack, but I do stack cash because stacking cash, when I used to live on the west coast of Canada, on Vancouver Island, we had earthquakes, and there was a few times in Vancouver and Victoria where debit machines were down, and the only way that you could buy goods, food, gas, anything like that, was having cash. And sometimes, and everything's electric, so no credit cards, no debit cards. It was all paper money. Now, in a meltdown or an economic collapse, I am making the assumption that I'm going to be able to use this. I have everything from 1 ounces, quarter ounces, 10th ounces, 20th ounces, and if you've seen my full stack videos, even smaller denominations of gold going 1 gram, and even little smaller nuggets than that. But for the purpose of daily life, because cash can come in a multitude of different ways, or even needing cash can come in a multitude of different ways, I stack currency as well. Mainly Canadian, some US, but there, for the times that I've had that happen where I've needed to buy food, where there was a water boil advisory around 2011. People were buying water. It was cash only in Vancouver, cash only on Vancouver Island after a small earthquake and power outages. That's the only thing. I could have, hypothetically, I'm wondering if I could have gone in with some of this, but then there's the question, is it real or not? So I'm not someone who thinks the end of the world is going to come today or tomorrow or maybe even in my lifetime. I do like having metals just as a store of wealth, not an investment, but a store of wealth. And I know that as I've talked about in other videos, I can take these and liquidate them and turn them into this. Or I could take this and turn it into this. So I like having both. I think it's important, and I don't have silver. Silver is not a base of my investment strategy. It's not a base of my stack. It's not a core. I have fun doing it. It does go up in value, and down as well. I do have high hopes for it in the future. But if there was a house fire or some small economic collapse or power outages or banking, was not, debit cards and credit cards weren't working, this would keep me and my family going. So my point is that I stack cash. I know it's kind of against what some of the people on here are doing, but it has come in more useful to me than any of this has so far. In the long run, this will probably become more useful, but the daily things that I've gone through, and as well as past experiences, the cash is king and always has won. Cash is king, gold is the emperor. I know this. I know these two kind of work together, work against each other, whatever you want to say. But for me, this is the core, the base of my stack, not the silver. I love the silver. I'm hoping it's going to go up, but this is my core. So I hope someone leaves a comment. I know it's probably not the most popular video ever because I do have cash here, but I stack cash as well as gold and silver, and I think it's important to do that for the smaller bumps in the road that can happen. As I said, in Vancouver and Victoria, when those things happened, that is what got my family and I through everything, not this. Anyways, that being said, I'm never going to stop stacking gold. I love it. It's a long-term way for me to save. It's a savings vehicle. And if I never have to use it in my lifetime, it's something to pass down. And hopefully I can educate my kids on the value of this when they're older. So I hope you're all doing well, and I look forward to seeing your comments. And, keep it friendly, but keep it real. Talk to you later.